Calm down. North Korea does not have the ability to strike America with a nuclear attack. Their nuclear weapons probably won't even function properly. We're talking about a country that can't even grow enough food to feed its people, and that doesn't even have a properly functioning electrical grid to provide electricity to their people. But the Fearmonger Friday award this week goes to the mainstream media for hyping up North Korea's nuclear threat. A comical, cartoonish nuclear threat, with the 28-year-old North Korean leader Kim Jong-un signing a declaration that he's planning on nuking several American cities when they don't even have the capability to do so for probably several years. But that little fact is buried in the articles. Fox News is reporting here, North Korea threats raise concern, Kim backing regime into corner. And then you read this article about Kim Jong-un threatening to nuke several American cities, Hawaii, Washington, Los Angeles, and Austin, Texas. And you just keep reading where he put out this propaganda picture signing the declaration with the strikes charted out in a cartoonish fashion here. And if you read the article, it talks about how he's planning and preparing to nuke all of these American cities, blah, 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 blah. But then buried in the article somewhere, way down here, where is it? Somewhere. Here we go. Experts believe the country is years away from developing nuclear-tipped missiles that could strike the United States. Many say there is also no evidence that Pyongyang has long-range missiles that can hit the U.S. mainland. And they're never going to talk about HARP in the mainstream media, which is basically the Star Wars project created to stop any nuclear missiles from striking America. And the HARP system can most likely cause earthquakes in any area of the world as well, the HARP weather weapon. But the fear-mongering mainstream media just wants you to fear everything. Be afraid of North Korea. Be afraid of Iran. I'm actually surprised that a nuclear bomb hasn't gone off on American soil, from either a false flag nuclear attack to completely eliminate what's left of the Bill of Rights, which would be blamed on Iran or North Korea or China or who knows, somebody. But this latest instance of fear-mongering is fascinatingly false, especially with the cartoonish threats of Kim Jong-un signing the order to put the missiles on standby, with the posters in the background showing their plan. I mean, as if they're going to tip their cards. This is just really propaganda for their own people. The brainwashed people over there in North Korea are so brainwashed and indoctrinated that they believe that Kim Jong-un is the son of God. Or many, many, many people believe that he is the son of God. They're so ignorant and so brainwashed. He is the third generation dictator over there, ruling the country. So don't worry about a nuclear attack. And like I said, I'm surprised that we haven't been hit with a nuclear attack of some kind from somebody. But I don't live in fear. I have my, quote, insurance, because what are you going to do about it? You just educate yourself about the Bill of Rights and Posse Comitatus, so that if that event happens, you know your rights, and we can band together to ensure that the Bill of Rights is not violated in a martial law situation. And of course, you should be prepared for any kind of disaster, just basic disaster preparations. Some storable food, some water filters, some candles, some solar-powered lanterns, cans of Spam, some protein powder, some long-term storable food that's good for several years. Because an earthquake, electrical grid failure, a cyber attack, anything could happen. You see, but I don't live off of the conspiratainment thrill, excitement of what the chicken little sky is falling. Just like I don't worry about getting into a car accident, even though, what is it, tens of thousands of people die every year in car accidents. You know, I put my seatbelt on, I pay attention, I don't text message while driving. I have insurance just in case something happens. But, I mean, you really could worry every day when you're on the road. Oh my God, what if that car hits me? What if that car hits me? Holy cow, I might die and get into an accident or be paralyzed from a car crash. You can't live in fear like that. But people in the conspiracy genre like their conspiratainment. It's an exciting, thrilling ride for them. It gets your adrenaline levels up. Living in fear, not realizing the broken clock is right twice a day, or not realizing about the story of Chicken Little, you know, thinking the sky is falling every day. Every day, every day. I mean, at some point in time, America will most likely completely collapse or will decline into a complete economic wasteland. The dollar will probably be worth nothing. They'll probably release a new currency, an Amero, or just unroll the digital currency. But when will that happen? I don't know. You know, it's like we're all going to die at some point in time, but I don't sit around worrying about it. You live your life and enjoy it day by day. The inevitable will happen at some point in time. But the transhumanists think that they're going to live as gods forever, or think that they're going to live for 500 years, or believe that they're going to upload their brain, their consciousness into a hard drive or into the cloud, into a silicone-based system, and then they're just going to live forever in cyberspace. If you want to do that, have fun living in hell. You know, because the Bible says that we, you know, came from the ground and we will return to the ground. So anyway, just a couple points on the pending North Korean nuclear attack. And if a nuclear attack hits America, it'll most likely be allowed to happen, because we have such sophisticated systems that they could stop it. I mean, there was a story just a few weeks ago about a guy that had a nuclear stress test when you have to drink a radiation-filled milkshake, and then people go to the hospital and they trace the radiation through their system. And so this guy was on a subway, I think it was in New York, and he tipped off the nuclear detectors. They have secret nuclear detectors on the subway systems and probably on the streets of major cities. So if anybody, you know, sneaks in a suitcase nuke or a nuke in a car or in a van, it will most likely be detected by these systems, because these systems are so powerful that they shut down the system. And they had a NEST team, a nuclear emergency search team or whatever they call it, come and shut down the train, and they were searching, trying to find out where this radiation supposed leak or this detection was coming from. And then they found out that it just came from a guy sitting on the subway who was at the hospital earlier that day, who drank a nuclear milkshake to get some sort of a test at the hospital. So that alone, the guy drank it. It's not even dangerous. I mean, maybe a little bit, but it's so, it's safe enough. The radiation is so low that these people drink nuclear milkshakes and go to the hospital and have tests, and that tripped a nuclear sensor in a New York, I think it was a New York subway. So if somebody tries to smuggle in a suitcase nuke, it's most likely going to get detected by these systems. And so, you know, you can live in fear, live in your conspiratainment. I know it gets your adrenaline levels up, man. You like it. It's exciting. But for those of you who don't like to live in fear, those of you who like to think rationally and logically about the potential threats to our country, this is a perfect example for Fearmonger Friday. Oh, and by the way, I'll finish this video in a second, but if you were to use that app that that teenager sold for $30 million to Yahoo, which was just a publicity stunt to try to offset the negative publicity they were getting because the new CEO, Marissa Mayer, former CEO of Google, or former spokeswoman of Google, had eliminated the Yahoo employees' ability to work from home, so they're getting a lot of negative press. So they came up with this publicity stunt to buy this app from this teenage kid, which summarizes news stories for you. So if you were to read these articles with that summary app, and it probably just would have, eliminated the one little paragraph, the one little sentence where it says, experts believe the country is years away from developing nuclear missiles that could strike the United States. So you wouldn't have known that if you read the Cliff Notes version of the news stories. Or if you just if you just read the headlines, you start reading through the story and it's like, oh my God, they're preparing, they're threatening, they've plotted, they show on the map where they're going to strike. Holy cow. You read this Drudge Report headline, Kim to bomb DC, LA. Well, he's threatening to do it. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'm Mark Dice. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. Check out some of the previous videos. Share my videos with your friends and family on Facebook or email it to them. And there's more videos on the way and some more insane, outrageous Man on the Street Mondays. So if you don't like these screenshot videos where I just kind of narrate the different news stories and give some background information on some Illuminati conspiracy information, you will, I think, appreciate Man on the Street Mondays. A lot of work goes into those videos. So check out some of the previous ones and stay tuned for the next several editions of Man on the Street Mondays. So thanks again. I'm Mark Dice, signing off for now.